Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. First of all, I would like to introduce myself. My name is Gita Gifara. My study ID number is A121211050. Now I will make a video answering several questions. For answer number 1, example sentence. The first, the soundless night enveloped the forest, broken only the occasional rustle of leaves. And the second, she moved through the silent room, careful not to disturb anyone sleeping. And the third, the noiseless operation of the new machinery impressed the factory workers. Patterns of entailments. The first, if something is soundless, then it is silent. If something is silent, then it is noiseless. If something is noiseless, then it is soundless. For answer number 2, yes, awake and asleep are indeed complementaries. Awake, that being awake implies being conscious, aware, and alert with one sense active and responsive. Asleep, being asleep indicates a state of unconsciousness, unawareness, and lack of responsiveness, typically during the natural sleep cycle. Now let's include half awake, half asleep, and dozy in the account. Half awake this applies being partially conscious, somewhat aware, but not fully alert or responsive. It suggests a transitional state between being fully awake and being fully asleep. Next, half asleep. This suggests being partially conscious, somewhat aware of one's surroundings, but not fully engaged with them. It also denotes a transitional state between being fully asleep and being fully awake. So, next, dozy. This term refers to feeling drowsy, sleepy, or in a state of lethargy where one may be on verge of falling asleep or waking up. It implies a state of reduced alertness and responsiveness of characterized by desire to sleep. Next, answer number 3, the relevant meaning differs between the verbs in the two columns lies in the degree of intensity conveyed by the adjective when modified by quit. When quit serves as a downturner with adjectives like clever, late, small, and unusual, it implies a moderate or particular degree of adjective. For example, quite clever suggests a moderate level of cleverness, not exceptionally so. Conversely, when quite acts as a maximer with adjectives like right, finish, impossible, and alone, it implies the full extent or intensity of adjective. For instance, quite finish indicates that something incomplete to fullest extent possible without reservation. In a sense, the use of quite as a downturner tones down the intensity of the adjective, while its use of maximizer implies of maximize it is its full extent. Next, for answer number 4, sure, here's how each group can prepare a group exploring Rogers thesaurus. The first, research how Rogers thesaurus is organized, focusing on how synonym and opposites are utilized. The second, describe the structure of Rogers thesaurus, highlighting how synonyms are grouped together and how opposite terms are organized. And then provide example of synonym sets of opposites found within Rogers thesaurus. And then explain any unique feature or methodologies used Rogers thesaurus to initiate synonym and opposite exploration. The next group exploring synonym dictionaries. Search for one more and synonym dictionaries on synonym finders. Describe the format and organization of the chosen synonym dictionary, focusing how synonyms are present and categorized. And then provide example of synonym entries from the dictionary. And then discuss any additional feature or functionalities offered by the synonym dictionary, such as use notes or word relationships. Next, for answer number 5, the adjective old and young would typically yield bias. How adjective is or was X? Question because the inherently carry subjective judgments about age, and which can vary based on cultural norms, personal experience, and context. For example, how old is the implies a value judgment about age with different connotation depending on the age group being referenced. Similarly, miserable and pleasant are likely to yield biased equation because they reflect subjective assessment of emotional states. What one person consider miserable, another might find pleasant, make this adjective prone to bias and in questions such as how miserable was the movie or how pleasant was the vacation. On the other hand, unpalatable and thus tasty are less likely to yield biased question because they pertain more to personal preference rather than inherent value judgment. Finally, weak and strong could potentially yield biased question, but the bias might be less pronounced compared to the first two pairs. Strength can be subjective depending on the context. Therefore, questions like how strong is he might have less inherent bias compared to questions about age or emotional state, but bias could still be present depending on the specific context and interpretation. And the last answer, number 6, an intersective account of modification typically involves the modification of one noun by another in a way that both nouns contribute equally to meaning for the praise. Let's analyze its praise. The first, royal visitor. This praise can be handled by an intersective account because both royal and visitor contribute equally the meaning. A royal visitor is someone who is both royal and a visitor. Next, royal correspondent. Similarly, this praise can be handled by an intersective account because both royal and correspondent contribute equally to the meaning. A royal correspondent is someone who is both royal and land a correspondent. Next, heavier. This praise can also be handled by intersective account because both heavy and ether contribute equally to the meaning. A heavy eater is someone who eats a lot, and both heavy and ether are necessary to convey this meaning. And next, wasteful. This praise presents a challenge for an intersective account because it seems contradictory. A fool is typically not wise and vice versa. However, in specific context or literary device, it's possible for someone to paradoxically both wise and a fool. Nonetheless, the intersective account might struggle to fully capture to the noun's meaning and of the praise. Okay, that's all my answer. I apologize there if any mistake, and the last I say thank you.